Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thanks for joining me today. Please remember to like, share, respond, all that good stuff. Also, just a reminder that a lot of the coins, if they're available for sale, we'll have the details down in the show notes. And of course, you can always visit oldpueblocoin.com, tucsoncoinshow.com, all of the fun stuff. This actually is the first coin we're going to look at is a crackout. We just got these coins back from NGC. And I cannot find the case for the love of me. I don't know what happened. I've got 3 crackouts at the end I'm going to show you. This is a coin we'd sent in previously that got, I believe it got labeled as cleaned by PCGS. And this is coming back proof 63. So it has some hairlines. So this is the tricky part on this coin because at about like 90 different angles it looks good. And then the one, there it is. Okay, you guys catch this line right here? That's all we're talking about. Those fine hairlines are what's making this coin not a gem coin. That's it. The rest of the coin is lovely. So proof 63, I'm pretty sure it was net graded down to just called a clean coin. But we're gonna have some cool crackouts at the end of this video. I got a couple really neat varieties and some really cool half dollars that we got in that I'm pretty excited to share with you. One of the toughest coins to get in the Morgan dollar world is going to be this coin here, which is a 79 reverse of 78. And so the 1878 let's start over, shall we? This is called a dollar coin. It's a Morgan. In 1878, the reverse looked like this, which means it had this bird that has the concave chest to it. The feathers on the arrow are all straight, not curved. The latter issues, everything after that in 79 and on, had the concave chest, and then you see those feathers at the end of the arrows, had that angle to them. That was the main major design change. There's other minor design changes. That's the major design change. So this reverse was the back of the 78. And then when you get it on a 79, it's very tough, especially uncirculated. This coin we were trying to get in an Unk star holder because it has that real obvious cameo reverse to it, you know, and then the obverse is just toned over. MS61, still a tough coin. I mean, this is probably between a $700 and $800 coin, I'd imagine, just looking at how tough those are to get. Love the reverse on that coin, though. I'll tell you what, that's one of my favorite. I mean, just the eye appeal. The grade is only a 60, but 61, but I don't care because just how attractive the coin is. Next up, we have actually another VAM that is an 1899 over 99 S. So there is the 9 over 9 at the end. You can see it. Now this, I didn't look up the VAM. I don't know if this is a more common VAM. I think it's maybe a little bit more scarce because it doesn't look like it was in the gray sheet. The 99S is already a rare date. So to get a 99S in high grade uncirculated, you know, is a $600 or $700 coin just in MS62. And so in the VAM, this is probably more expensive. You know, I don't have all of the VAMs memorized, and there are thousands of VAMs, and then there are, this one says it's a top 100 VAM on there. This just says VAM 7. So VAM, that's the variety book on Morgan dollars. Next up, we've got some pretty rare half dollars to show to you. I wasn't sure how they'd treat this exactly, but I'm not surprised by the grade. 1903 from the New Orleans Mint. Nolans, y'all. Really cool coin. High grade barbers that have you know, mint luster left on them. That's what all of that shiny stuff is. Boys and girls, nice mint luster. Hard to come by. You can start to get a feel for a little bit of the overall strike quality on a coin like this because you can see that the luster is over the majority of the surface of the coin, including parts of the details or the devices. But also you see the flatness on the head and the wings. Some of that's wear, but some of that's strike. And so it can be really deceptive when you have a coin with kind of a soft strike that has most of its luster. It's like, what am I looking at right now? But this side you can see a little bit more just how much luster is left on the coin. They called this AU details stained. You know, an AU coin by itself is probably $300 to $500, so the stained version will be less expensive. but it'll look nice in someone's holder, especially if you want to crack it out and put it into a raw album. One of my favorite years on coins, of course, is 1916. Not a surprise, that's a favorite year for a lot of people. You had the introduction of the Mercury dime, the Standing Liberty quarter, and the Walking Liberty half dollar. And for some reason, I've always thought that 1916 halves were just like super cool coins. Here's another coin looking at luster. Overall, you can see the luster flow over, what are we going to call that? 65% of the coin? Something like that. That's a lot of luster still. You know, there's a lot more wear on this side, or appears to be, because of all the devices. That would be the design areas. All the luster wears off of there faster. So all of the eagle, a lot of the feathers. So the protected areas will just be in the periphery. Whereas on the obverse of the coin, you're going to have these nice big open fields that can house some luster still. Let's call it 50% luster. That's, I was being generous maybe. But you just have hints of luster in other areas. XF45, super neat coin. Probably close to $1,000 coin in this condition. And very, very tough to locate. This one has the S Mint here from the San Francisco Mint. Stuck right there, and the mint moved on these guys because they were on the obverse just for a couple of years. 16, and then halfway through 17, they moved it to the back. And let's look at one where it's on the back, also known as the reverse. This 23S. There's your mint mark now, starting halfway through 17 and switching over. Here's a coin that has a very similar amount of luster to it, but is just a little bright, but we got it certified anyways because it's just such a stinking rare coin. They call this one cleaned. Understandably so. It's a type of coin that just has a lot of brightness to it with a similar amount of luster to it. But 23S, another tough date. I mean, an extra fine is also like a $900 type coin. This will be, of course, less than that because of the cleaning, but also tough coin for anyone who's putting together a set. It's amazing to me at some points how hard some of the teens and 20s are on Walking Liberty half dollars, especially like this 1927 from the San Francisco Mint. Also, a lot of those San Francisco Mint coins, tougher to come by, a little bit lower mintages. You can see this coin has a lot more luster than the other two coins does, or did, or do. And this coin here, they graded an AU55. So you're looking at a coin that has a lot more luster to it. In the fields, you see a little bit of wear into the fields, a little bit of wear over the top of the design. Nice bold date on that coin. And you'd be surprised, a coin like this, probably $1,000 plus type coin in the marketplace, just super tough to get. Nice Walking Liberty half dollars. And once you get into the 30s, they're a little bit easier to come by on some of them, but 1938, this is actually one of the tougher Denver Mint coins. You run into a few Denver Mint coins that are kind of difficult to come by. Nowhere near the powerhouse that those previous coins were, especially for a coin that is still an AU. Another AU55, very bright luster on this guy. Little bit of wear to it. You have kind of a different look and feel between the two coins, partially because they were minted at different mints, but also, just over time, whatever the coin is kept near. So, you've got a lot more of that, like, what would I call that? Cool parchment faded yellow to the coin on the left, whereas you had kind of that bright white look. And so lots of coins come in different tones to start with, and lots of them started with the same tone and end up a little bit differently. This coin, the 38D, probably a $300 type coin, somewhere in that ballpark. Not anywhere near as expensive as that previous one. Before I get to my crackouts, I have one more partial crackout. Like, I don't know what happened with this whole series of coins. This 37 San Francisco Mint coin, I know that I bought certified from somebody because it was in my notes that way. And I bought it as a 64, and I cracked it out to try to get in a 65 holder. And it's still in a 64 holder. But what a lovely coin. This is something that, you try on some of these coins and you don't succeed necessarily. And actually, oftentimes we don't succeed, but we have fun trying. And it's not your money, so you get to enjoy it. But this coin I thought was really pretty. I thought it could go 65, and that's why I tried it. Now to the actual crackouts, this was for a customer, their 1921 2x2 Alabama, Sweet Home Alabama. This coin is really cool with its that 2x2 insert on there, little counter stamp. You know, PCGS had called it Unk Details Cleaned. And I thought that the coin had a chance to come back straight graded. Just because overall I thought it looked pretty good. Sometimes a coin just looks a little too bright, and so they'll call it cleaned. And other times, depending on the time of the day, I think that a grader looks at a coin, they grade it a little bit differently. They still called this one Unk Details Cleaned, so that was not a good outcome. And the other two cracks that I have coming your way is actually a 31S that was in a CAC holder. Wild and crazy stuff. So this coin was a 63. And let me tell you what I did in this coin. 63 bid is 135. 64 bid is 150. I actually paid 225 on this coin, folks. This is me buying the coin, not the holder. And, you know how that works out. Well, it doesn't always work out. You know, sometimes I send a coin in and it comes back not the grade I need to come back, because this coin has to come back at 65, and then it's worth like 350 or more. Actually, really cool color on this brown coin. A lot of color in there, actually. A lot of color in there. 65, and that's I think that's the right call on this coin. Super lustrous, very pretty coin. And I just loved the coin. And sometimes your gut's right, and sometimes it's just that burrito you had from Taco Bell. So this was for a customer, this 1859-0. This one was wild. So he had 3 coins in that he'd sent in, and they came back net graded, and 2 of them had like some type of mark or scratch. And I said, you know, that's not going to upgrade. But this VF Details Cleaned, I had a couple of issues with from PCGS, and I was just looking at it, and first of all, I was like, well, I like the coin is better than a VF, you know, first of all. But that doesn't matter, because the real question is whether or not it'll straight grade. And it can be really tricky on any coins that are from this time period, because, of course, obviously a lot of the coins have been washed or in some way, you know, wiped, or, you know, I mean, there's just lots that goes on in a coin over 170 years of existence. But to me, the coin deserved to be in a straight grade XF holder, and it is. And I think that's a win for my client. It may be available for sale by the time this video drops. We'll see what happens, because he was sending them in with the idea of selling them. So, but I liked the coin a lot. I thought it just had kind of a nice even look to it. That type of little bit of shininess on a coin like this doesn't bother me. You know, it's somewhere in between. It has more of a natural look to it. You know, if you compare once again between, like, obviously this is a little bit of apples to oranges, but if you look at these 3 coins here, you know, the one on the left has that little bit of too much brightness, whereas the other 2 are, you know what, that brightness has to do with the overall natural wear of a coin over time. And there's always this thing where I think that we can become too critical on coins. And I know there's a place for that on certain coins, but on other ones, not so much. I mean, this coin, we're not trying to split hairs between a 67 and a 68. We're talking about 175-year-old coins that are circulated. And, you know, they're not going to be perfect. All right, guys, I think that's it. Thanks so much for watching today. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can leave your comments down below. Share this with some friends, anyone who likes coins and coin collecting. Let's get them into the hobby. All right, take care.